Coming to you from the Radio for One studios in Franklin, Michigan. Welcome to the Detroit Cast.
Big fan.
A show not just free of charge, but free of FCC regulations.
Thank you for your support of the Detroit Cast.
Oh, there it is.
And without further delay, it's showtime. Please welcome the Detroit Cast. Here are your hosts, Mike and Jay.
Well, this is not a recording. Well, it is technically a recording. Welcome, everybody, to the Detroit Cast with Mike and Jay. Big E is here. How are you, my friend? It's been a week.
It has been a week. It's good to be back, Mike.
Yes, it's good to see you both. Surprised to say that, but I missed you guys.
Oh, well.
As I usually do.
How was your trip?
It was good. It was good. It's good to be back home. I hate the flights, but getting back and settled into your home and it always is a nice feeling.
Yeah.
I was surrounded.
Wait,
and
where were you again?
I was in San Francisco. I was in the Bay Area. Huh.
If you're going to San Francisco, be sure to wear some flowers in your hair.
I did not wear any flowers in my hair. I was, however, surrounded, and I do mean surrounded by Raider Nation.
Is that right?
On my plane out to California. Leaving Metro Detroit. So I can't, the Raiders must have been on the East Coast for week one of the season. I don't know, who'd they play, Philly or someone?
Don't
But
know.
there was
That's
some,
interesting.
or a New York team or something. There had to be, because these guys were head to toe Raider Nation with their wives, Raider Nation. It's just such a...
Their big spiked shoulder pads.
They didn't have the spiked shoulder pads, but they all had their jerseys on and their hats.
Sure.
And black. I mean, just black head to toe, and they're just obnoxious. It was like, ugh, Raider Nation. And then I seemed to run into Raider Nation all over when I was around town.
Wandering around?
Yeah, I went up to Santa Cruz. You familiar with Santa Cruz?
No, only from the sweatshirt that you apparently bought there, because I saw you in a video just now wearing a Santa Cruz sweatshirt.
I did buy a Santa Cruz sweatshirt.
Yeah.
It gets a little chilly after
Yeah.
dark on the beach there. It's kind of a shithole. I remember Santa Cruz when I was like a little kid and I'd visit my grandparents, and Nana would always, God rest her soul, would always take me to Santa Cruz to the beach, and it was nice and pristine, and
Now, not so much.
not so much, man. The last couple times I've been there, it's like, it's just turned into this. It's just kind of scummy and shitty. I don't know. There was some dude in full Raiders gear, in a Raiders jersey, Raiders hat, and he's walking, I don't know, he's walking a pit bull with perhaps the biggest head I've ever seen on a pit bull. Basketball size, and I'm not talking WNBA basketball. I'm talking like full NBA size. The head on this fucking beast. And he's walking down the pier. They got one of those piers that go out on the water. And Beth wants to say hi to the Bruce. I'm like, Raiders fan, just ignore, don't make eye contact, move along. And so we do, and she's like, I'm gonna approve. And right when she says that, the dog hunkers down and just starts taking a shit on the pier, And I'm like, ignore, just move, keep walking. And she goes, better time to clean that up, or something like. And I was like, just fucking walk. I'm like, grabbing her, just walk. And so I just keep walking. She's like, what? And I'm like, it's Raider Nation. Just let him do his thing. And I get like 10 feet ahead, and I turn around to see him
Just kicking it?
kick this
Sure.
piece of
What are you
giant...
supposed to do with it? I mean, good for him. He got it off the pier. What are you supposed to do with it?
Well, it was along the pier. They've got those railroad ties, those 6x6 logs.
So it just
and the dog,
shoved over to the edge.
No, the dog squatted like on the railroad tie and took a massive shit on the railroad tie. And so he's up on top of the railroad tie. And Beth's
Responsible
like,
owner.
Where's the bag? You need to get your baggie out to clean up. And I'm like, move. And I just turn around to see him. God damn it. And he's just kicking the shit down the pier. I'm like, ugh, nice, sir. This kind of sums
It's more
up
than I
Santa Cruz.
expected.
Really?
Yeah, I expected him to leave it there, walk away. Raider
See-
Nation, baby.
Responsible dog owners nowadays, they carry their bags, and that's what they do.
Pick up that heaping pile, steaming still.
Yeah.
Your hand. Ugh.
Yeah, I know. It's gross. I struggle to do it still, but I don't know. That's apparently what you're supposed to do.
So how'd you look in Santa Cruz with your Santa Cruz sweatshirt on? Did it go over well?
Well, I wasn't wearing that in Santa Cruz. I was actually in, I think what you're referring to, I might have been in Capitola, which is close. And I bought it, like, at the end, like I said, it was a beautiful blue skies day all day. And then as soon as it starts to get cooler out and the sun starts going down, it overcast, and it gets chilly. You're on the water. And so, yeah, then I had to stop in.
So it's close by. It was sort of like wearing a Warren sweatshirt to Royal Oak.
Sure,
Yeah,
sure.
I get it.
You have a real hang-up with,
Destination
I
sweatshirts.
hate them. I
As he
despise
wears a
them.
Detroit
as he's wearing a
shirt.
Detroit shirt.
No,
Yeah.
no. This is a little different because this is some from some
Yeah.
company I got for free from some dude with
Detroit Apparel Company.
Yes, no. I'm talking like
company.
Mackinac Island shirts.
Why aren't they advertising
Virginia,
on the Detroit Cast, by the way?
I don't know. From when I gave that guy a ride home, like almost 2 years ago, he said he was in.
We can move some shirts for them.
Just spoke with him the other day. As a
Did
matter of
you?
fact.
Oh, did you? Oh,
Yes.
geez.
yeah.
Well, he didn't hear me just making fun of the situation.
It's a beautiful shirt.
Actually, it
is.
is a great shirt. I've had a few
What's
more
your
than a
What's
few-
your guys' hang up with destination shirts?
They're stupid as fuck. Like, I hate when I see somebody, like, I just think about it
I'm
like,
kind of with E. Like, the only reason you'd have it is if you were caught off guard, like, oh, shit, is it cold? Or, oh, shit,
That's
it's raining.
kind of what happens
Yeah, but
to
you've
me.
got a lot of other ones, man.
Yeah, I'm always caught off guard somewhere. It's always like 85 degrees and sunny out, and then it gets down to 50 in an hour, and you're like, "Fuck!"
I just think of when
it's
I think of
freezing out here, and I didn't bring a sweatshirt, and so I just run into a shop and I buy.
I think of
some.
it as the ultimate trap
yeah, just-
sale. Like,
yeah.
you're walking along these little, things, and you're like, oh, Saugatuck, and then you're like, oh, wow, that's kind of a cool hoodie, right? But
Yeah.
where would I wear this?
yeah, exactly. Where are you going to wear it? You're at Cedar Point. You get the
anywhere
ride.
you can wear it
No.
anywhere. There's no law that
Yeah,
says you
it's
can't
so
wear it.
Stupid though. Then you wear it, so then
Very
people have to ask
touristy,
you
like.
about it. They're like, "Oh,
Nobody's
you
ever
just
asked
said-"
me about my sweatshirt
Saugatuck.
ever till you clowns. You guys
Nobody-
do.
I don't-
know.
Well, that's how I always
Because
envision
they all
it.
just kind of look at it and they know. They're like, oh, that's the guy who buys destination sweatshirts.
people are like,
No, I
ask.
think there's a different. Like, if you're in Florida and you're close to Disney and you go into those shops and every one of them is like a pink or fluorescent highlighter yellow and they've got a cartoon character on them and they go Myrna Beach and like I would never buy that. That's a destination shirt to me.
No, if it's going to have airbrushing on it from Myrtle Beach, those are the ones you buy, man. I disagree with you.
really?
Oh, Mike.
I can't stand the airbrush T-shirts
I'm
from.
just kidding. They're awful. Of
They're
course
they're
they are.
terrible.
No, but E just mentioned one, man. I think we glossed over it. Cedar Point.
"Oh my god!" The idea of buying like a ride
that I would never
T-shirt.
do.
Gonna buy a
The Val Raven.
T-shirt.
Do people buy those?
Yes, they do,
guess.
and I don't know why they wear them around. I don't get it. I don't understand it.
Like,
I don't.
oh, did you ride that?
Yeah.
Yes,
oh.
I did.
On the back, they'll have the facts like, "I survived Val Raven 200 feet down," or whatever. And it's like, okay, so what? Cares? I just see them as like conversation. Like, I think that's most people that buy them hope they're gonna go around and people, "Oh, were you down at the Bahamas this year?" "Oh, yes, it was beautiful. I bought this T-shirt." I don't know. I just think they're so dumb.
I'm with you, E.
You guys are unbelievable. You wear something with a Nike swoosh on it. How's that any different?
It's totally different. It has nothing to do with a destination.
Well, guess.
I don't know. I have a real hang up about them, I guess. But.
Anyway, the other thing I notice more and more whenever I'm in California is the lack of black people.
Is that right?
Dude, it is remarkable. It's to the point where I'm walking down the street and I'm like, ooh, there's one.
Really?
And you point, it's like, oh, I found 3 of them in Capitola.
Huh.
Like, I don't think it's illegal.
Should we tell them about it?
It's legal for
they
them to
know
be there,
about
right?
it?
It's not illegal. You don't get ticketed if
My
you're black.
understanding is it is not illegal. It is illegal.
I don't think it's illegal, but dude, you're hard pressed. Now, an Asian every 15 feet, it's like, oh, boo, boo, you could count all day. It's just Asian as far as the eye can see. White people are kind of missing in action. Asians have really dominated Northern California, but the black, it's like a endangered species out there. I don't know what's going on. Probably the highlight of my trip, though, I'll tell you, I went north of the bridge into Marin County and to some little beach off the beaten path, this little town. You know those little towns that are tucked in these like hilly...
Just delightful little towns.
Oh, unbelievable. They've got their one restaurant. They don't even have a gas station, and it's just like everything, all the food is prepared from local farmers, and they...
Oh, I know them well.
Oh, they're unbelievable. So I'm sitting in this one, and it's
sort of
just...
like a Franklin out in Northern California.
Sort of. And so Beth and I are just grabbing lunch at this little town.
By the way, I passed by your pretentious cider mill
Oh,
on the way
did you?
over here. Yeah, they were unpacking goods because, as E has mentioned, it's just a point of sale. It's a POS basically. They truck it all in. Truck it all in, put it under a pretentious tent.
Leave it alone. Franklin is going through some changes right now. It's tough. It's tough. They don't need you ragging on their
Buy a
their
$19
famous-
jar of honeybee, honey.
Admit you had fun last year when we went to the Franklin cider
I
mill.
won't admit it.
You should. You
won't
fed
admit
the
it.
ducks. You like the ducks.
I like ducks. Ducks are cool.
Yes, it's a little overpriced.
Fun.
Whatever. But the Franklin cider mill. It's great. The kids love it. Whatever. But the Franklin market is gone. It's closed now.
I heard about that.
Yeah, I told you about
mentioned
that. It's already closed. Tried doubling the rent on my boy Carl in there, and he's out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can only sell so many $8 apples.
Yeah, right. So I'm in this little town, and it's just Beth and I, and there's one other table with some people at it. And there's like 2 guys and a girl, and so I'm sitting there, and this dude stands up, and he looks at me. He's probably from me to the couch over there. So
The astronomy couch?
Not the astronomy, the other
Different.
one. Yeah,
Gotcha.
He's 25 feet away, maybe. And I look, and I'm like, that's fucking Bob Weir,
What?
the lead guitarist for the Grateful Dead. That's Bob Weir.
And he's pointing at you?
He's not pointing at me, but he's staring. I mean, we're just like,
Yeah.
I'm gazing into his eyes.
You're in this small, delightful little town.
Absolute quaint.
Quaint, even.
Yeah.
And there's Bob Weir.
And there's Bob Weir, and I'm like, that's fucking Bob Weir. Oh my god, that's Bob Weir. And he's
so
wearing
did you
just
run
like,
up to him and go, oh my God,
oh my
I love your
I'm
work.
such a fan. I used
Oh
to
my
follow
God."
the band in the '90s. You guys are amazing. No, I was kind of starstruck though. I was kind of like, holy fuck, I think that's Bob Weir. I know that's Bob Weir. And he's wearing just like surf shorts.
So you
and
got
a
his number and he's
t-shirt.
coming on the show.
No.
God damn it!
So
that's
he
a
starts
good point.
he starts walking away, like they've paid their bill and now they're leaving, and I'm like, fuck, that's Bob Weir. I need to talk to him. And so I go running out there as he's getting in his car. He's in his
Mr.
car
Weir,
now.
Mr. Weir. Did you
and
say
I-
Mr. Weir?
No, I didn't. I didn't say anything because by the time it clicked and registered, like, oh my god, that's Bob Weir. I start making my way, and he's closing the door of his Tesla, and driving off. And then the waitress came back, and Beth couldn't give a shit less. She doesn't know who Bob Weir is and couldn't care less. And so I said to the waitress, I'm like, that was Bob Weir, right? And she's like, oh yeah, he's in here all the time. He lives up the mountain there. It's like the Mountain Girl used to come in here all the time. The whole band used to come in here. I'm like, holy fuck. So for a Dead fan, that was kind of cool seeing Bob Weir in passing. I did snap a quick picture of his Tesla.
Just came upon him.
Yeah, I did. That was probably the highlight. How was it around here? Did you guys have fun?
No, tried to make some money. E, what'd you do?
Nothing really. Hung around here a little bit.
All right, moving on.
Yeah.
No, I really didn't do that much. I just hung.
I gave E the keys to my house, and I just wanted him to make sure
E,
the
where
cats
did you
didn't
whack
starve.
off? Where
I
did you
did
whack
not.
off? Shut
I
up.
did not. I didn't-
Bullshit,
I
dude.
promise, I did
Why
not.
wouldn't you?
Because I saved that for my home.
Did you sniff his underwear?
No, I didn't
You
even go into his room.
You went into his drawers.
I did not
You went
go
into
into
his
his
dirty
room.
laundry and sniffed his dirty
Why would
underwear.
I want to do that? I
E,
didn't even go into his. I did not go into his
Just to
room.
say you
or
did.
I didn't. I did not.
Where'd you whack off?
I did not whack off.
Well, he was like, I gave him the option before I left. I said, dude, if you want to stay here or something, I figured he'd get out of Nana's place and Mom at the Fading Manor. I was like, I guess you can. It wouldn't hurt to have someone around here, being out of town.
It's a warm body.
He's like, no, fuck that. I can't, now anymore, I can't really sleep in strangers' houses. I'm like, okay, whatever. Can you come by and just feed the cats and make sure they don't, die? And, don't let him out of the house. He's like, yep, I can do that. And so he did. And then I got home and I'm like looking around and
There's like a cake pan up there or something.
Yeah,
E,
that
did
was-
you bring a cake?
no,
No, that's not me.
my mom was returning that to Beth.
I was gonna say I didn't make a cake.
But there was like all the water was gone.
What water?
I don't know. And there was a
Oh, the bottled water. Yeah.
yeah, the bottled water.
Oh, so sue me. I drank 4 bottles of the bottle of water.
I know. I wanted delicious water when I got home last night. I had to go tap. But whatever. It's fine. I noticed you found the Dr. Pepper as well. We're tucked away in a closet. Probably been in there for 2w years. I don't really drink pop. But
E,
there
you
are
went
just
snooping around, didn't you?
No, what it was, I was making. No, I was I made some chicken tenders.
And I needed some Dr. Pepper to go
No,
with
I
it.
made some frozen popcorn chicken.
I found those in the fridge too, or the freezer. There's
You
a
can have those.
big
You can have
bag
the rest of those if you want.
Chicken. He brought chicken strips over.
and I was looking for Pam, and there was Pam there. And then when I saw that, I was like, "Oh, Dr. Pepper, it's my favorite pop."
So you actually used the oven, E.
Yes, I
Wow.
did.
So yeah,
Turn it off? Do you remember to turn it off?
Yes.
Maybe.
It wasn't that bad.
Yeah. So then it trickles out that maybe you stayed here.
Yeah, I did stay here a few nights in the end.
You stayed here a few nights and you didn't whack off here.
Yes, I was, here's the thing. I would go. I swear to God.
You'd go home to whack off.
Yeah, well, I would like one day I went home and I had to cut the grass and did some shit around the house. I wasn't here every night, so I did that at home and then came over here.
He has like killer cable. He has like every nudie
I don't need
channel
that
ever.
anyway. I mean,
you could watch it on 75 inches of.
I don't even have any desire
glorious
to watch.
LED TV.
I don't have any desire to watch. It doesn't make a difference to me on some big TV. I don't have to put my glasses on. The phone's actually just
Where did you sleep? Where do I need
couch.
to disinfect? The couch.
the couch in the living room.
You struggled to turn on the TV in the kitchen, didn't you?
What? No. Yeah, well, I did. In fact, I struggled to turn on everything for a while. I almost had to text you to get Netflix on because I didn't know how to do it.
Wait, which couch? The one in the family room then? In the TV room?
Yeah.
Oh, gross.
I haven't even gone in there yet. He left the lights on. He left the lights in the garage on. He left the outside lights on.
I did that on purpose. I ended up leaving. I was gonna stay here Monday too originally, and then I just didn't want to stay here anymore. So I left at
blame
like
you.
10 o'clock at night. So I left that on in my mind.
Ooh, it's a
thinking
deterrent.
I should leave. I don't know. Leave the lights on. I guess I don't. Oh, sorry. I don't know
What the hell was that?
I don't know what that was. No, but I swear to God, I did not masturbate in your house. I promise you.
Do you believe him?
No. He was here 3 nights?
I don't
No.
either. I don't know why, but
And I don't know why
either.
you won't admit it.
Because I didn't.
Hey, are you itching to dump your funk-filled grocery getter?
I
You want to
am.
drive the freshest, safest, funnest SUV on the market? Then we highly suggest you visit our good friends at Zott Ford at I-75 and exit 98. And lease the all-new 17 Ford Escape SE for just $199 with zero cash due at signing. Yup, the hottest SUV on the market for $199 a month with zero cash due only from our friends at Zott Ford and Holly. Surf their groovy deals and massive inventory at ZottFord.com.
All right. Well, while we were gone, the world kept spinning, and the news kept trickling in.
Kept spinning in the same manner it was before. What do we
Yeah.
have? A little bit of terror, a little sprinkled in some terrorism,
Yep.
some Black Lives Matter.
Yep.
Did we have a microwave baby? I don't know.
I didn't see a
I
microwave
didn't see one
baby.
either, but
I was trying to catch up. Are you able to shut it down and not focus on the news that much?
no, I did the same thing I always do.
Did you? Yeah, my news was not nearly as I wasn't quite as diligent as I normally am with it. But coming back today, I was the first thing I do obviously is jump on Twitter and see what's trending, and of course, you've got Black Lives Matter trending everywhere because of the shootings that happened on Friday and on Monday, and then we're getting not too many details. We should know more today about this killing in Dearborn Heights. It sounds like another Lakes Minivan USA
Oh no!
situation going on in Dearborn Heights overnight, as a guy's been arrested after 4 siblings were killed, and their mother critically injured in this attack at their home. Like I said, in Dearborn Heights, appears to have been a domestic incident. I'd be shocked if they weren't. The kids are 4, 6, 17, and 19.
Whoa!
They-
Span.
Yeah. I thought I read that 2 of them weren't his, like 2 of them were adopted maybe, and 2 or he came into
Steps.
Yeah, and 2 of them were. Neighbors, of course, described the family as hardworking and quiet, the usual. Just 2 or 3 weeks ago, they had a birthday party, balloons and that stuff out there. They've been working on the house the last 2 or 3 months. So, like I said, not a lot of detail as of yet. It's what I was reading though was that he jerry-rigged the tailpipe in the car in the garage and carbon monoxide the 2 younger kids, and then execution style the other 2 in the house. I know. So more information as we go. Like I said, press conferences later today. And then North Carolina blew up. North Carolina's having a rough go.
How so?
Well, they've got the HB2 law, the bathroom bill, as it's known.
yes.
Where
Everybody's ducking out. NBA's like, yeah, we're not going to have our All-Star game there.
we're not going to
everybody's
have concerts there.
Looking super progressive.
Yeah, everybody's scared to death to look like they're not totally on board with everything, no matter how fast it's going down the tracks. And so North Carolina's taken the fucking brunt of it. Remember, Pearl Jam bailed out on their show. The Boss bailed out. Bruce Springsteen. And now 12 officers have been injured during violent protests and looting in North Carolina that broke out after an officer fatally shot a black man they claimed was carrying a gun. Depends who you believe here. The family insisted he's just a disabled father of 7, was only reading a book.
Carrying a book.
All I got is a book. Keith Lamont Scott is his name. He's 43. He was shot by a Charlotte police officer about 4 p.m. on Tuesday. His brother and sister said he didn't have a gun. He was just reading a book in his car, minding his own business while waiting for his son to be dropped off from school.
And a warrant is being executed on someone else, right? Completely different?
Yes.
And then he somehow approaches the scene or is approached by cops, told get the hell out of there or something.
Yeah, he got out of the car apparently with a gun and then went back into the car, and they were like, got into it with them. And so, of course, everybody, protesters from around the area, know exactly what happened, and so they felt fit to just go raid Walmart. And I mean, a fancy new iPad does fix a lot, though. In their defense, who wouldn't want a new iPad? They're kind of badass, and so they several hundred people gathered, some setting fires to block a major thoroughfare. Police officers' cars were set on fire. They stole boxes from trucks. Police finally went in and did the fire bangs, those fake grenade things, and all kinds of things like that to get them to break that up.
So did he have a book or a gun?
Well, that's the $1 million question.
Does it matter to the protesters?
I don't.
That's the $500,000 question.
I don't think it does.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the reports are that a gun was found at the location. A book was nowhere to be found.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at too. Gun, but no book found.
Yeah. Wait, is that video I pulled up?
The police planted the gun and took the book. It's obvious.
Yeah.
And shit.
This is the brother of Keith Lamont Scott. See what his take is. Now, obviously, family, you cut them a little bit of slack in these situations, but let's see what my man's brother has to say.
I heard he was sitting in the car waiting for his son.
Yeah, he was waiting on his son to get from school, and the jump out police came out with he didn't have on no uniform to determine he was a police or not. He was an undercover. He just jumped out and yelled gun and shot at him. I think he shot him 4 times. I'm not sure, but he's dead. So.
What? Guys, is there anything we should know?
Just know that all white people are fucking devils.
And make sure you air that one.
Air that shit.
Now. Don't take that
All
down.
white cops are fucking devils and white people.
Oh, I thought he pulled it back there for a moment.
Yeah. And then
Just went with the subcategory, but then he broadened it out again.
yeah.
So we were all devils, then all white cops, then all white people.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think the cop that shot him was
a black guy.
So I don't know. It's one thing if you want to target us as white devils and stuff, but I mean, at least get the
Facts
straight.
somewhat right.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see how this one plays out. But yeah, by all accounts, the officer Brentley Vinson is a former college football player. Not sure where he played, but he was ID'd as the officer who shot him. Officer Vinson is also black. He's been placed on administrative leave. In Tulsa, Oklahoma, hundreds of people are rallying outside the police headquarters calling for the firing of police officer Betty Shelby. I'm sure you saw this video.
I did, yeah.
Shelby shot 40-year-old Terrence Crutcher on Friday during a confrontation in the middle of a road that was captured on some dash cam and helicopter cam video as well. Her attorney said he was not following the officer's commands. Shelby was concerned because he kept reaching for his pocket as if he was carrying a weapon.
Yeah, and that one everybody points to. He had his hands up. He did for a moment, or did for a time, and then he went back to his car and appeared like he was reaching back in. Sort of like Helm's client a few weeks ago that we talked about, and we saw the video of that, and I'm like, damn, I just shot him 8 times, Just going in for whatever. You don't know what they're going in the window or the door for.
Yeah.
And, you got to remember that the cop is afraid for their own safety, not knowing what's going to be pulled out and aimed at them. And as tragic as it is, you got to remember and
unfortunately,
all the circumstances.
We get to a point now where a narrative has been set in the country, and that's all that matters. And so, like that guy being thrown on the news a minute ago in the other story, just like cop came up, he wasn't identified. He just jumped out and said, gun, and then shot him 4 times. Like, how do you know that? How the fuck do you know? You don't.
Yeah.
But now you're on the news, and people are watching the news as if it's fact. The news isn't fact, and so you don't have any idea yet what happened. I'm not saying the guy deserved to be shot. I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't know. The other one with the guy, I saw him with his hands up, and of course,
you lose sight of it right at the moment where you want to know what really happens. The helicopter goes around the vehicle, and you can't really see what he's doing.
It gets there's a tree in the line of sight, and so right when the shots are fired, I'm sure there will be conspiracy theories that that was done on purpose to to aid the police in some fashion. I don't know, but there's people are already taking shit, including a local bar here, Bookie's Bar in Detroit.
Yeah, I read that. They took a bunch of shit on Facebook, right?
Yeah, and Twitter. Boycotts being called for. One of the owners, Marco Gerent, is the guy facing most of the backlash. Of course, his Facebook has been taken down and all that because he made a post and he said, "Do you mean the unarmed man who didn't listen to police again?" And he's talking about the one in Tulsa there, the guy that we're just talking about, the one who continued to resist by walking away from the police again. The one who continued to walk away with his hands up and proceeded to disobey more orders all the way back to his vehicle, then put his hands down, continued to disobey orders, then reached into the open window of a car. That unarmed man, that one that simply didn't listen again. Get ready for the liberal media frenzy of BS. Then the audio will come out. Then everyone will say he didn't listen. Then after a false narrative for 3 months by Black Lives Matter and rioting peaceful protests, everyone will say, ooh, I guess he was wrong, and the police were right. Then after a real investigation, the truth comes out. Simple story never changes. Listen to the police who have guns pointed at you and don't get shot. Isn't that hard? Here we go again, hands up until they aren't anymore. The media will cut the video, then just wait until the mainstream plays the clip. CNN, we are ready for your half story. They will ignore everything else, clicks and ads. It's always about money, not the truth. Watch and see.
What's his name? Marco?
Marco.
Right on, Marco.
Is it bad that I read that and I went,
here's the problem, man. You own a business, and that's the fact is you're not going to get anywhere by posting that shit. You learned the hard way. But I think he said what a lot of people think in those circumstances.
That's what I thought too, because it's the thing that we've talked about 1,000 times, where show me the video, and I guess with Walter Scott you could say that. Show me the video of the guy walking away with his hands up, and
that was brutal.
And that's the video you can point to where it's like, yeah, that's murder. That's what we're talking about. But then you see all these other videos, and it's like, because I kind of feel like Marco did, and they'll come out and apologize, and the co-owner of Bookies in Detroit is now coming out, and Jay Lambrecht is his name. He went to Facebook. Thank you to all my great friends for your support and understanding that the comments made by my business partner are not mine, nor are they our wonderful staff at Bookies. I am embarrassed and sorry. Bookies only has survived because of the community support of the last 14 years. I've always been proud to have one of the most diverse bars in the city. That's what makes Bookies a special place.
Yeah.
So, he's left to clean up the mess. Yeah. But you're right, Jay. A lot of people read what Marco said and have that same opinion. Like, dude, it's not that hard.
Just comply.
Just try it. See what happens.
You're not going to win. You're not going to win by walking away, by reaching in the door. You're just tempting fate.
Yeah. You're just putting yourself in a situation where, call it the times we're living in, where people seem to be on edge. It's why someone like Trump is doing as well as he has, playing on a lot of the fear that's in the world with terrorism right now, police shootings, all those things get played in it. But you're not doing yourself any favors. Like, if that guy's just got his hands up like this, and he's standing by his car, and he's listening to the cop, and he gets shot, that's a no-brainer. By all means, arrest her. Throw her in jail for murder.
Sue the shit out of them.
Yep. Collect your $6 million and throw her in jail. And that's what'll happen. That's what's going to happen in the Scott case in South Carolina. That guy's being charged with murder. But I just don't know. And the fact is, we don't know all the facts of that story
And that's the other thing about Marco. I mean, you're a business owner. You can't do that. Secondly, you don't know all the facts. As we just said, you've got the helicopter flying away just at the right time. Maybe there's another camera angle. I don't know, from a dash cam or something.
Yeah.
Maybe you can tell, but I couldn't tell.
Yeah,
so
I couldn't in the video
I'm not comfortable saying, like, oh, yeah, he should have been shot there. But shit, man, you just can't win as a small business owner posting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Delete your Twitter accounts, delete your Facebook. Don't do it.
Unless you're just going to be super PC guy, there's no reason for it. Unless, who knows, maybe Bookies picks up some business, getting their names in all the papers today. I suppose that's good for them. But I just don't know. Like you mentioned, the Helm video, where, dude, you start reaching in your car, and when a cop's got his gun drawn on you, like, what do you expect them to do? I don't know what you expect them to do. I know some people will say shoot him in the toe, which is absurd. But I just don't know. You're putting them in a really tough spot there because, believe me, no cop wants to shoot a guy. And that's kind of the narrative that's being driven, is that, they're just dying to shoot black people.
I would have blown away Helm's client 8 times in that scenario. I would have. 8 different points. He'd have been a dead man.
Yeah, I know.
And I jokingly, at the time when we're sitting here with Helm, I said, hey, what if that guy was a black guy? Well, there you have maybe the circumstance of a black guy. Maybe it plays in. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it does in that woman's mind.
I think I shoot Helm's client. I don't know if I shoot the guy reaching into his car just yet, but oh man, my finger is on the trigger for sure.
As he's going in the car and then coming back out, reaching, like he's got like cigarettes in his hand. Oh man, he'd have been so dead.
Yeah. Those cops were very reserved. Anyway, I'm sure we haven't heard the last of it. The news cycle is all over this. They love this. Playing off this story, but until we know more about it, it's really hard to make a decision who was right, who was wrong. But I'm just glad it wasn't a white guy in these last 2 shootings.
Right.
I think it was a white chick in this one. So she's technically still a devil, right? She's still a white devil, technically speaking.
According to, yes.
Yeah,
guy.
the brother, yeah.
Yes, white devil.
And then while we were gone, we had the bombs going off in New York and New Jersey as well. Ahmad Rahami, I'm shocked by that name. He's being brought up on charges of attempted murder, 5 charges. Kind of failed in his detonation, though, really.
Yeah, pretty sad. He had one blow up and it injured, 29 people, killed nobody.
Yeah.
Ha-ha.
Yeah, didn't get anyone. Sorry. He's currently awaiting questioning by the FBI and facing these murder charges in Jersey. He's yet to be read his rights. I think he was in surgery at a hospital. They had the shootout with police in Linden, New Jersey, in which he was captured. They just kept playing that video. All I kept seeing is him on the stretcher, with the bleeding arm as they wheeled him into the ambulance. Law enforcement said that he repeatedly traveled at length to Pakistan and Afghanistan. That should be a red flag right there. I'm sorry.
I guess the fact that he had family there, like that took the red flag down for the FBI.
Yeah.
Like, well, I got family there. Dude.
His dad was telling the FBI 2 years ago, my son is terrorist.
I know.
And they're like, yeah, we looked at him. Nothing we can do. It's a really tough spot to put them in because you can't just take every person that...
No, they don't have the resources.
No.
They don't have... The guy's an American citizen, too.
Yeah.
And that was a problem, I guess, in this circumstance, in that they would have escalated it had he not been. But the guy's a U.S. citizen. He's got a right to do shit and not be...
Travel and...
Not be assumed a terrorist.
2 years ago, I called FBI. My son, he's doing really bad, okay? They checked it almost 2 months. He's okay. He clear. He not terrorist. They say he not terrorist. When asked why he called the FBI, he said it was because of his son's violent outburst. Because he doing bad. He stabbed my son, hit my wife. I put him in jail. Stabbed your kid. Some of the neighbors, of the business, his dad owns that chicken.
Isn't it called like All-American Chicken or some shit, ironically?
Yeah. But one of the neighbors, Sonia Reyes, longtime friend of the family, runs a beauty salon next door to his fried chicken shop in Elizabeth. Said it was clear that he had changed a little bit on trips abroad. She was shocked and sad to learn that Ahmed was suspected of planting a pressure cooker bomb and another device in the heart of Manhattan Saturday night. He comes to my beauty salon. I cut his hair for a long time, maybe 14, 15 years. That's why I don't feel good, because you would never think of this. But she said after one of his trips to Afghanistan, he came back and he was wearing robes. He was really religious.
He was gone for like a year one time, I think.
Yeah, 6 months one time, maybe a year another. It sounds like the family, too. His sister was posting all kinds of sympathetic shit to ISIS and Al-Qaeda. So, I don't know. I'd be keeping a good long look at that family. The mom hopped a flight like days before
Yeah,
this
the
went
mom
down.
and his wife, I think.
Yeah, got out of the country. They got stopped at United Arab Emirates and are being questioned there. The timing seems a little odd, but so Saturday, 9:30 a.m., there was a pipe bomb that detonated at a military fun run. The pipe exploded in a waste bin along the proposed route of the Semper 5K run. I like that.
Semper 5.
Semper 5, yeah. The race had been delayed, so no one was injured. So it sounds like he was trying to make another Boston marathon thing. 8:30 p.m., the first pressure cooker bomb exploded in Midtown Manhattan. That was placed near a metal trash dumpster. That's the one that injured 29 people. A second one was found in Chelsea at 10 o'clock. A resident found a cooker with a flip phone timer outside her home and called police. And then on Sunday, 5 EEDs are found near a train station. 2 homeless men found a backpack in a waste paper basket by a railroad bridge. Upon spotting the bombs, they ran to a nearby police station. Police evacuated the area, and then the robots were called in.
Homeless dudes kick ass. A backpack. Carry it off. Oh, shit.
Yeah. But I guess the robot snipped the wrong wire and blew that thing up. I don't fault him. He's just a robot. He didn't know.
Yeah, this could have been a pretty bad scenario and ended up huge fail.
Yeah,
in
they
terms
said
of devastation.
They said those bombs were really powerful. Could have done some serious damage, but they're still like, what's with the placement of these? The placement of these seems off. Weird hours to go off. Not a lot of traffic. It just seems like a weird spot for someone trying to do critical amounts of damage.
Yeah, I guess the Chelsea area is like a high gay lesbian area, and maybe he, religiously, such a religious zealot that he is.
Sure.
Wanted to kill those people.
Yeah.
But yeah, the thing along the fun run, like how many people are you going to hit out of a dumpster on a freaking fun run?
Yeah.
This isn't the friggin' Boston Marathon finish line. This is, I don't know.
Yeah.
You're right. It does seem like strange placement.
Yeah. Well, they took him alive, which I guess is good. Can interview the guy.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on to happier things. Did you see Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie are getting divorced?
God, I thought of all of them, Mike, this one would last.
Did you?
Oh, I sure did.
I cannot stand Angelina Jolie.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I just, of all people, Brad Pitt seems like such a fun dude to you'd want to hang out with.
Why?
I don't know. He's always struck me as kind of that, just easy
Tyler
going.
Durden.
Yeah,
kind of guy.
sorta. Yeah, not to say he's like his movies, but apparently he parties too much, and he's not good with the kids. Whatever that means.
They have like 6 kids, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they bought 4 of them, right?
Yeah.
And then they
Whose
had 2.
nanny is going to get them?
Good question.
You know what I mean?
I don't know. They've got $400 million, so I think they'll be okay. They could probably afford another nanny to take Brad's half of the kids, and
Yeah.
I'm just worried about Pax and Shiloh.
Wasn't he the original
I think
Pax?
Pax was the original one they stole out of Africa.
Yeah.
I think he's like 26 now or something. No, he's Maddox. There was Maddox was the first one. Maddox is 15 now, and Pax is 12. So she filed for divorce from Brad Pitt for the health of her family. The actress filed the papers this week, citing irreconcilable differences as the reason for the split, asking for physical custody of the couple's 6 kids. There's Maddox, Pax, Zahara, Shiloh, and Vivian and Knox are the twins. Yeah. A source said that Jolie made the decision because of the way Brad was parenting the children, adding she was extremely upset by his methods. Jolie became fed up with his consumption of weed and alcohol as well.
His methods.
And he's got an anger problem.
How did he tell what did he tell the nannies to do differently than she was telling the nannies to do? How is he delegating worse than her?
Good point.
There's also rumors that Jolie has thrown out there that Brad was hooking up with one of his co-stars, some chick I've never heard of, Marion Cotillard.
Never heard of her.
Yeah, superstar. Apparently, he's in a new movie with her, and he's hooking up with her. They're giving shit to the movie company too, because they put out the day after this, hot scenes of them hooking up in the trailer. So yeah, the couple have not been seen together in months. And since last November, People spoke with a source who claims that the fighting between the two got bad at times over the last year, and Pitt would flee to France. So, yeah, fuck this shit. I'm out of here. He'd go to his castle in France.
You have enough money. It's just funny how, like,
Go smoke down in my castle.
right, like, and he's not
Like,
like
have some wine and weed. Fuck this bitch.
just leave.
Yeah, go hang out at the UN, honey. I'm going to France.
Oh shit, she's wearing her burqa again. I'm out. Yeah, she got all into like human rights issues and all this stuff. And
Someone at some point told her like she's really good at faking things on screen, so she'd be a perfect UN ambassador. And so yeah, now we see her and she lopped her titties off.
what?
Yeah, she had that preemptive titty cancer screen.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And so she did that, which can't be thrilling. I mean, good for her, but
Yeah.
for Brad, as for the discipline issue, so what was Brad doing? Was he beating the shit? Was he putting kids' heads through windows? Is that what was going on?
I don't know.
Because
Tell
that's
me.
what it sounds like. I mean, for the health and safety of their family, well, apparently, as for the discipline, Brad has always been stricter. What a monster. He wanted the kids to have more structure. Brad would get frustrated at times and maybe even yell at the kids. What an asshole. What an asshole. Angelina has always been more relaxed attitude when it came to the kids, and she doesn't yell. So you can see where the problem is there. Pitt said in a statement, "I'm very saddened by this, but what matters most now is the well-being of our kids. I kindly ask the press to give them their space." So Angelina underwent that mastectomy in 2013. That's when they say things changed for her. I imagine they would. Suddenly she saw herself walking in her late mother's shoes. She was no longer that wild, fun-loving woman she used to be. She was taking things a lot more seriously. Brad was like, yeah, fuck that. I'm going to France, man. Angelina wasn't into wasting time on frivolous matters.
Oh God.
Brad felt it was important for them to live life to the fullest, but as the months passed, Angelina seemed to withdraw, making the children and her work with the UN a priority. Ugh. Whew. I'm out. Out. Fuck. The underlying reasons between the split are the same that caused the divorce to Jennifer Aniston. He was bored stiff.
I predict my man doesn't get remarried.
Yeah, if he's smart, he calls it. Like, yeah, we've had it. We've had enough.
How old is he? He's like in his 50s, right?
Yeah. Oh, he's got to be now. Yeah, the National Enquirer is reporting that Julie recently grew upset with a nanny she believed was flirting with Brad, and so she had her fired. Brad, this is good news for you, my friend. This is good news. Focus on your
Yeah,
movies.
definitely.
Spread your wings.
Yeah, go have some fun. What are you doing? So,
I never got the impression he wanted all those kids, right? Or
No.
wasn't it always just that it was she?
Who knows? Who knows? What do
Well,
we
they're
know
always
about
at-
these
well,
people?
he did want kids with Aniston. I think that was a part of their rift originally, but I don't know if
6.
adopting 6 from Africa was what he had in mind. But whatever. The kids will be fine.
Oh yeah.
The kids will be well taken care of.
Well nannied.
Yes. Anyway,
He's 52, by the way.
he's
Okay.
52. He looks good for 52.
Calling Brad Pitt hot.
Calling Brad Pitt hot.
Wow, Mike.
Yep.
The bromance.
Cookie Johnson.
Cookie?
Cookie.
Like Magic's wife.
Magic's wife.
What has he done anyway?
Big Magic Johnson. Good, I'll wait.
What has he done? Can you tell me? Big Magic Johnson, what has he done?
I didn't give him those AIDS.
He's got AIDS.
And when he
And
had
when
those
he had
AIDS,
those AIDS, I went to my synagogue and I prayed for him.
Cookie has written a book.
I like to help minorities.
Good for you, Don. She's revealed that she fell to her knees when he first said, "Oh yeah, I got AIDS."
The HIV.
Yeah, back in '91, she did an interview, both of them, with Good Morning America. They never really talk about this. This is an unspoken subject for them. It scared me to death. I mean, I fell to my knees. We both fell on our knees and we started crying. The interview is to celebrate the release of Cookie's memoir.
Her memoir. You want to talk about something? What has she done? Or what has he done? Wow.
Believing in Magic.
She put up with a lot of shit.
My story of love, overcoming adversity, and keeping the faith.
Who's reading this book? Who is this? Like, I can I can
Yeah.
understand.
Order it, E. Get it.
I
Yeah,
can
We're
understand
going to need the book.
us wanting to read it and talk about it,
Yeah,
but a
2 copies,
regular
please.
person. You're going online
you
on
can book an interview,
Amazon
too.
What's coming up? What's coming on next here? Oh, this book.
Yeah, when's Cookie available?
Who is spending the money though? As a regular person though, just
Don't you just pick up that book and just like search the
index for
the
all
index
the names.
for November 1991 press conference?
Yeah.
Like start.
Yeah, who
that's where
gives
you
a-
need to start.
who gives a shit about the stuff before and when they met each other and all?
She's opening about if she's going to talk about the philandering that went on. I was reading something recently, like AC Green. Remember him?
Oh
from
yeah,
the Lakers.
Lakers, sure.
He was a virgin, right? So he comes in to
Really?
the NBA as a
Oh,
virgin.
boy.
And he's on that Showtime Lakers team that was just synonymous with sex and partying.
Yeah.
And here he is just thrown into the mix. And I think he was writing. I'm not sure it was a book, but maybe a magazine article. I might have read an excerpt of it. And he was just talking about like Magic's parties were over the top, man.
Really?
And he was constantly walking around these parties getting people to hook up. So when it came midnight, everybody knew Magic wanted you to hook up. So if you were a dude, you just got near the hottest chick you could because Magic would walk over and go, "Why aren't you two kissing and shit?" And he'd just like, push you together. Come on, let's get it on. You two in the hot tub right now. Get it on.
That's awesome.
And he was like a ringmaster of this
Wow.
shit. He wasn't like into just like taking off and banging chicks. He wanted to orchestrate this whole thing, according to this article. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
That'd be awesome. I wish I knew friends like that.
Yeah, I don't know anyone like that. I don't know. And no one's ever told me to like you two hook up. I don't
Yeah.
think
It's
anyways.
apparently a fun place to be.
Why? Wait till did they said was that an exact time for
Yeah,
real?
it was like
you would say-
midnight or 2 a.m. One of the
right,
two.
right.
You know? It was like, "Why aren't you hooking up?" And he'd press you together.
So people would try to like aggressively get by hot chicks.
Yes.
1:45. I'm gonna have to saddle up next to a hotbed.
You're talking.
Don't want to
this-
be by the pig at the party at this
Yeah.
point.
Oh my god! What a scene that would be if you think of
Kind of a
like,
musical chairs situation.
Right, if it really became known, can you imagine the scene that would be where guys would just start like, oh shit, oh shit.
Sauntering over, just kind of sidestepping.
The pressure to impress Magic Johnson. Like, think about that.
Yeah.
Some dude comes up and be like, "Yeah, you two should be fucking in a hot tub right now." And you're like, "Okay,
Yeah.
I guess."
Oh God, Magic's watching me bang in the hot tub.
So in the new book, she discusses why she chose to stay with Magic after he revealed that HIV that he had,
About
which was
25 million reasons.
at least, which was announced to the world at a press conference, November 1991. We all remember that.
He's got AIDS.
At the time, they'd only been married for 45 days.
What?
Isn't that crazy?
I thought
I
they'd
didn't-
been married for years.
Didn't
man.
they meet in Lansing?
I thought that.
I thought they hooked up first in Lansing, Michigan.
Wow.
Yeah, 45 days is all they were married at that point. She says it never occurred to her to leave. That's kind of shocking. Think about 1991 with AIDS.
Yeah.
Like AIDS was not
a
the
death
AIDS.
sentence.
It was an absolute death
I remember
sentence.
being shocked watching that, just going, oh, "Holy shit, Magic Johnson is dying."
It was a homo disease. You got mostly from gay sex. That was what was known, and it was a death sentence.
Yeah.
Like your days were absolutely numbered. You didn't remember then. You didn't want to be in coughing distance of someone with AIDS at that point. Like it was like the hands-off thing. The idea that she wouldn't, it never crossed her mind to leave is unbelievable. He said, "If you want to leave, I don't blame you. It's okay. I understand." She said, "Are you kidding me? No, I love you. I'm going to stay here and help you live. I'm going to stay here and we're going to beat this thing. We're going to figure out how to beat this thing."
That's all right.
Cookie remembers as newlyweds, too, they discovered they were pregnant, I'm guessing with EJ, with their first baby. She had to be tested for the HIV and wait 10 days for the results, which she said was agonizing, I can imagine. But she obviously did not have the virus. To this day, Magic has not discussed how he got it either, but has said it was likely from a sexual partner during his playing career.
It's always the same and always different. There's always a bunch of naked guys having a wonderful time together.
Boy, that's a real stretch.
Yeah.
To say that. It was probably gotten during my sexual activity days in my early playing days. Huh? Yeah. Cookie also discussed how she and her husband accepted their eldest son, EJ, as gay. EJ is not gay. EJ is the gayest gay that the gay community has ever seen. Like,
Flamer.
Oh.
I've never heard of this guy.
dude, look at that dude. He's so gay. Like gay people are embarrassed
Is
by
he
how gay
caped?
he is.
Is he caped?
He's caped.
He's caped and full-faced. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
With the Urkel glasses on.
Every time I've seen him, he's wearing like a lip gloss or lipstick.
Why have I never seen this guy?
I don't watch any of these shows, but I've caught little snippets here and there through time. He's on one of those Rich Kids of Beverly Hills shows, which is great for your children. If you can just have your kids rolling around on TV, spending retarded amounts of money, driving exotic cars, that's a great way to raise your children. And you're seeing EJ living life to the fullest. So he's on one of those. They've given it. He's so flamboyantly gay and obnoxious, over the top, that they've given him his own show now.
No shit.
Yeah, EJ NYC. So he's moving to New York City, I guess.
This is Irvin's only kid?
I don't know if it's their only kid. It was their first kid. Does it say if he had?
Well, for one, he had a kid with a first person in 1981. Andre Johnson was born to. So it looked like he had. So he had at least one other kid in 1981.
Yeah.
No one else with Cookie though. Cookie. I love that.
Cookie. What a ridiculous name, Cookie.
You
is.
named your kid Cookie.
They adopted some daughter in 1995.
Cookie.
Apparently.
They named her Cookie.
Yeah. Maybe she was a fan of Sesame Street.
We will
Cookie
name
Monster.
her
Cookie. I know. Yeah.
Oh no, you know what? That looks. Never mind.
So they really struggled with having a homo for a kid. I guess this was really difficult. Like Cookie was softer, and she was like, all right, whatever. If he's a homo.
It's how the cookie crumbles.
Right. Exactly. It was kind of her attitude. And so she was cool with it long before Magic was. Magic was not cool with that news, but eventually I had to come to realize that it's who he is. It's how he's going to be happy, and so why am I judging him? I'm his father, so I got to be the first one to say, okay, it's okay, I love you. Now, how can I help you? How can I ungay you? What can I do? I just follow you around, grabbing you by the hips and pulling you out of buttholes? What do I got to do? How can I help? I'm here to help. My name is Magic. Your mom's name is Cookie. You hardly had a chance.
It's our fault.
What'd you expect was going to happen? Anyway, find the book. We need to get that book ordered.
What has he
Post-haste.
done? Can you tell me? Big Magic Johnson, what has he done?
Is he a billionaire yet?
I don't know.
He's got serious business ventures. I think he owns the Dodgers, too.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, I think he's part owner of the
Yeah,
Dodgers.
definitely.
I thought he had serious failing business ventures for a while there.
He's got a lot of theaters, too. Magic Johnson theaters that do really well. I bet his net worth is upwards of $1 billion. Does it say, E?
Good for Magic.
Yeah, good for him. I don't know. Well, let's take a quick timeout, and we're getting more news about Alexis Arquette's death too. What happened there?
According
Speaking of the AIDS,
Yes, exactly.
according to CelebrityNetWorth.com, it's $600 million.
Not as rich as I thought. Anyway, we'll take a break. We'll be back with more in a minute.
The Detroit Cast continues after this short break.
Hey, it's Steve Gabarra, the general manager at Zott Ford and Holly. We're much closer than you think, and we specialize in getting folks out of their lease up to 12 months early. It doesn't matter what brand or how many miles you have on it. The team at Zott Ford will assist in terminating your current lease with no penalties and hook you up with a sweet new Ford. So dump your overpriced, over-mileage lease and let your friends at Zott Ford make your wildest dreams come true. Check out our astonishing deals and massive inventory at ZottFord.com. Steve Gabarra, the general manager at Zott Ford. You've heard me talk about the deals we offer on Ford F-150s. Well, here's one you simply cannot ignore. For a limited time, everyone can save up to $17,000 on a new 16 Ford F-150. Yes, I said everyone. This means you do not have to be a Ford employee or even know one. So if you can drive to Zott Ford at I-75 and exit 98, you can save up to $17,000 on your new F-150. Only at Zott Ford in Holly. That's SZOTT.
Detroitcast continues now, bitches. Here's Mike and Jay.
All right, welcome back to the Detroitcast. Back live today.
Mike,
Last
did you
week.
listen to any of the best ofs?
You know what? I didn't. How were they?
Joel does a nice job.
I know he does.
Thank you to Joel again.
Always impressed with
Can
his
you
work.
imagine if that project had been left to Fuckface over here?
No.
Can you
No.
imagine?
No.
What we
Well,
would have been
I
left with?
can. We've seen it before.
20-minute shows, everything clipped, everything very E-heavy.
Yeah, very edited,
Yeah.
E-heavy. The levels would be all over the map. That's what I would notice. You would notice because over the last couple of years, we've tweaked things. We've adjusted microphones. We've changed microphones. We've adjusted the board. So if you
But
listen to
Joel
old
just
stuff,
has steady right across
Are
the
they?
board. Yeah. Oh,
just
beautifully
you would
done.
never know.
You'd never know. Seamless.
Yeah, he just is like whatever. He might have it like he'll pull one thing and he'll have it potted down like this, and it's like there will be a 20-minute conversation like at
Just
this
like
level.
this, yeah. And so
Yeah.
if you're mowing the lawn or something, you're like, jack
Crank
it
it
to a
up.
million.
But be careful because then it's going to go more with the
Yeah.
best of the Detroit cast, and then it comes in and it's like, yeah, so we're talking to this guy, does this thing and that thing, and then 10 minutes later after that conversation ends, it's like, now the Detroit cast continues with more of Mike and Jay or whatever. Sorry, E.
Big ears. Biggie's professional ears didn't hear that though.
Yeah, which is troubling on many levels. You shouldn't understand this, but fucktard should, because when you put those together, you're putting them in wave form, and so you can
It's
see
obvious.
the levels.
If you can't hear it, you can see it.
You can see the waves themselves, and then those little tiny little fucking these waves.
Yeah,
When these
small,
waves
tiny.
comes in, they're just blips. So when E does a best of, you can see it like huge, and then wee tiny little levels, and then huge.
And it doesn't occur to you, E? The difference?
Whatever, dude.
The need to fix it? Into the mic, you son of a bitch!
Talking. I'm not going to say anything.
Got nothing to say, do you?
Nope.
Say you're right, guys. You're right. I'm sorry.
I'm not going to say
I need to
that.
pay more attention
Joel's
to those
better than
details.
me.
Joel is way better. Just admit Joel's way better than you.
No, I will not admit that.
Well, I will, because Joel is way better than you. Thank you, Joel.
Yeah, thanks, Joel. Hey, got to mention also David Helm is having an open house today. If you're listening today on Thursday the 22nd, that is the day he's having his open house at 598 North Mill Street, Plymouth, Michigan. Call him at 248-679-8804 if you want more information. But basically, go see his expanded office, meet
Yes.
the one and only David Helm and his new staff, and ask him all the shit you've been wondering about.
Yeah, whether
Legal
it's
issues.
legal issues, wee water bottles.
Any
Anything.
question you have. If you want to fax him too, I noticed this in his his signature block. He has a fax number. Who uses a fax?
Come on, David.
But here's if you want to write
some
in
guy
a
who
fax,
gives away wee water bottles but has a fax. Did you have a landline at home too?
248-667-7802. You can fax David Helm. Any questions you may
So
have.
write down your message and then throw it in your trusty fax machine. Well, we've got more business coming in through the fax machine. What is it, an all request hour over there? You taking faxes all afternoon?
If you'd like to send him a smoke signal, you can do that. Just make sure it can be seen from Plymouth, Michigan.
That's right.
Skywriting. can also
Skywriting.
be
Oh, I
done.
like that. Yeah. Very good.
He's in Plymouth.
Well, I'm happy for him. New digs. That's awesome. If you've got some legal issues going on, he's a good one to talk to. So he can definitely help you out. We should also mention coming up October 7th. We're excited, man.
Yes.
Bringing-
Mike Massey, the great Mike Massey,
Yeah.
will be here.
And bringing Jeff with him, Jeff Hall, which will be a great show out at the Hamlin Pub at 25 in Van Dyke in Shelby Township. We're getting excited. There's some a swelling of people interested in going, and it'll be fun to have those guys in town. We had a blast with them last year, and so that should be a good event. It'll be $10 at the door. We're trying to just cover the cost to bring these guys in to town, fly them in, and put them up and all that stuff.
Get there
So-
early if you can. Have a good time.
Yes, yeah. Enjoy the food and drink, and all your Detroit cast friends. We'll obviously all be there, so we're excited for that. I'm almost equally excited for the debates that are coming up, Jay. I got to be honest with you.
We're within a week, man.
Yeah, is it like 6 days out
I
or
think
something?
so. 5 or 6 days, dude. Epic.
It's going to be.
It's the moment we've been waiting for.
Is it something that can only disappoint? Because we've both been really, like, you and I think are on the same page, Jay. Where over the last 6 months, we've kind of interest has waned in the Trump v. Hillary thing. It actually took longer to get to a boring point, in my opinion, than I thought. I thought it would have happened earlier, because people have just kind of drawn lines in the sand, and so it just becomes kind of a moot point. But this,
head to head, it's no longer just name calling into the ether. It's name calling face to face.
Yeah. So I'm fired up for that. They're talking huge numbers for this.
Super Bowl-esque. Could it be?
Is that possible that you can have a political debate and have huge numbers? They're going to be huge. The numbers are going to be huge.
The best.
Trump says he's not going to bring up Hillary's Bill's infidelity as long as she's fair. He's going down that road.
Speaking of Hillary, dude, did you see that the guy who scrubbed her email asked about it on Reddit in advance? Did you see this?
No.
Okay, so they
wait a minute. No.
Yes, they pinpointed his username. It's like Stone Tier or Stone Tear or something like that. It was this innocuous type name that he was using, but he had a series of questions on Reddit that somebody went back and said that's the fucking guy, because the time matches up perfectly.
Wow.
And he's asking about how to change email addresses to make them more innocuous. Shit like that. I mean, it's really damning shit. It's the shit that you knew was going on, but to see it in writing, like, holy cow.
Oh, my God.
And this is the contractor, of course, that was asked to do this shit.
That was doing the homebrew server, right?
No, it wasn't that Pagliano guy. It was the other guy from the outside service. I think he was in Colorado, maybe.
Is he? I know there was some that was trying to get.
He was given immunity.
Immunity, yeah.
Yeah, and then he took the fifth upon questioning, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks ago or something.
Yeah.
So the guy has no interest in talking, but he also was trying to delete all these Reddit posts, and somebody like videotaped it real time as they're like refreshing. Yep, no, he's deleting it. Check it out.
No way.
But
how would
before
you
they
catch
did that,
that?
they went in and caught it all into some other program and preserved it.
I'm always amazed by people that go back. I guess Twitter's that's easier to do, but on a Reddit, there's so much on Reddit. How would you figure that out to go back? And that's crazy.
Yeah,
that's crazy. Well, I don't know if I'm sure that'll come up in the debates. Trump will definitely lean on the email stuff.
30,000 missing emails.
33,000 missing emails. Maybe Russia can help us find those. But he says he won't bring up Monica Lewinsky. I don't think I'm looking to do that. He was telling Bill O'Reilly on Monday night. As long as it depends on what level she hits you with. If she's fair, if it's unfair, but certainly I'm not looking to do that. I think this: if she treats me with respect, I will treat her with respect. It really depends. People ask me that question. You're going to go out there and do this and that. I really don't know. I don't know that. You're going to have to feel it out when you're out there. She's got to treat me with respect, though. I'm going to treat her with respect. I'd like to start off by saying that because that would be my intention. So I don't know what respect means. I mean, obviously, she's going to be throwing at him anything, but it's just what he deems respect. You know what I mean? So it's kind of a I don't know. I think a lot of people would be kind of happy if he brought up. I mean, because if you think about it, remember where that started. They were trying to attack him about women and infidelities like that. He didn't throw that first punch.
Yeah, he would have, but
he maybe would have at some point. Maybe I would have. I don't know. But they showed a lack of respect for me, so I went after the Lewinsky card, which seemed like an easy card to go after. So anyway,
well, beyond the fireworks that may occur and what everybody will be watching for, I think the pundits are right in all saying she's postured him in a way that sets the bar so low that if he can just look at all presidential and at all intelligent on some of these policy issues, he's going to win this thing.
Yeah,
because people have such low expectations of him.
Yeah, I don't know. I hope it goes more policy. I mean, part of me, I like the three-ring circus of it all. From a standpoint of doing something like this, it obviously gives you more to talk about. But in reality, for the country, you hope he brings something that is worthy, that is more presidential. I don't know. We'll see. He's shown signs of that in the past few months, and then he immediately reverts back to.
Well, I think the woman who he brought on as manager, remind me of her name.
Is it Kellyanne? She's great.
Dude, that was a huge move by him.
Yeah.
He was about to tank it, and she resurrected this thing.
Yeah.
She's really got him way more on point.
Well,
and you're right. He does drift at times, You know, he had that moment, I don't know, a week ago where he was like, this is, you know, could Hillary be up here right now? I don't think she could take it. You know, he stayed away from the health shit.
Huge.
But he couldn't resist having a little dig in there. I don't think she would have the stamina to stand up here in this crowd.
Yeah.
So you see him start to waver into that, but she's really locked him down, I think. And, you know, he's got some smart people behind him, not the least of whom is the Newt. The Newt and the Rudy. And so, you know, if they can just keep him on certain messages.
Yeah, but she seems to have taken it to a different level. Like, those people were great for his base. You know, Rudy Giuliani, half the country's going to love him, half is going to hate him. Kellyanne, I don't know why I can't think of her last name, but...
Look at E just staring at the video as we're wondering what this woman's name is. He's just staring at the YouTube video.
He's thinking about being scolded for best ofs he didn't even produce. You know?
Fuck,
Dude, I could have done better than Joel. Fuck Joel.
Fuck that guy.
No, I just had him.
He's wrong about the levels.
What was it? A bluebird flew by, Homer?
No.
What happened?
I just totally zonked out. I didn't even know
he was
where I
just staring at the video. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Kellyanne Conway.
Yeah. But he hired her and the guy from
Breitbart
at the same time, and people really hated the Breitbart move.
But he stayed in the background.
Yeah. So I don't know how much that hurts, but I think Kellyanne Conway is a huge plus. She's a huge plus.
Yeah.
First, she's female, and she's well-spoken, and she's soft-spoken. She's not so in your face like some of the people that you see talking him up that are willing to forgive everything that he says and spin it in some way. I don't get that feeling from her, which is kind of nice. But I think you're absolutely right. She's resurrected what was going to be a disaster.
Numbers are looking pretty close. I mean, it's still, you're talking electoral college, it could still be a landslide for Hillary, but they are looking up for him.
Yeah, definitely. Well, you're right. The first of these debates is going to be huge in a few days. So definitely looking forward to it. Did you see the Lions got some bad news today?
I did.
That's
unfortunate.
Amir Abdullah going on the injured reserve.
Just when you were getting excited about that tandem at running back.
Yeah. That loss to Tennessee. I'm sorry. I'm sure you didn't watch it. Fuck. I was so ready to be on board with this team.
Well, they have 3 touchdowns called back.
Yeah. And I don't know. 100. Are they still throwing flags on the field? There was 160 flags thrown. Some of them were so questionable too. I hate blaming refs, but dude, when you bitch about the game being slow and being, too many timeouts, you're right. You're 100% right about that. The flags that are dominating NFL football right now, I don't know if the refs are too good or if they're trying to be too protective of everybody because the sport's being hammered with concussion issues, but it's so painful to watch football right now. And that Lions game was one of those where it's like, oh my God, this is going to take 6 hours. Anyway, Amir Abdullah rolled some sort of foot injury in the loss to Tennessee. Initial x-rays showed no fracture, but he had enough swelling in his foot. The Lions sent him to Charlotte, North Carolina to get a second opinion from
Dr. Andrews?
No, Dr. Robert Anderson, renowned foot specialist. I don't know. I figured it was Dr. Andrews, too. That seems to be the go-to guy down there. But so Theo Riddick takes over as the number 1, and then Dwayne Washington, the guy that looked impressive I think he had the big kickoff return for a touchdown in the preseason and a couple other big runs.
I don't count on anything from that, though.
No. They also moved Zach Zenner up. Remember Zach Zenner, the fullback?
Yeah.
They moved him up from the practice squad, and they worked out Joik Bell yesterday.
Fan favorite Joik Bell.
Yes. They also re-signed George Wynn.
Okay.
Remember George Wynn?
I do.
At a UD Jesuit, so he's on the practice squad. So anyway, before we left last week, Alexis Arquette had died, still dead.
He did, I remember
that. Yes. He did die, and the death certificate shows he'd been living with the HIV.
Oh, boy.
For almost 3 decades.
He's got AIDS.
I didn't give him those AIDS.
And when he had those AIDS, I went to my synagogue and I prayed for him.
Don. A death certificate filed in Los Angeles shows that he had a bacterial infection of the heart for 3 weeks before he died there on September 11th. It's also emerged that Arquette was back to living as a man.
Oh.
Yeah.
Recovered from his mental disorder?
Sure. He had multiple ailments that caused his death, including those AIDS.
He had it for 30 years, you said?
Yeah.
Damn, dude.
Alexis was living with AIDS and had an inoperable tumor that had developed an infection. I was told that it went to his liver and throughout his body. That's according to one of his former boyfriends. He was working as an artist and living in an actors fund home in West Hollywood. You ever heard of those?
No.
Yeah, me either. So apparently it's free living.
It's like an incubator.
Yeah, sort of. For people with the HIV and AIDS. He hated it. People were breaking into his apartment. The Arquette family had offered to let him live with them, but he wanted to be independent. So he was living in this like shelter place. Towards the end, he was in a lot of pain, but he was not going to give up. He was holding on so hard at the end. He was such a fighter. He was sick for so long. He was born Robert, transitioned to be a woman in 2006, and was pretty tight-lipped on the surgery, and then went back to being Bob, I guess, towards the end there. So, yeah. I started hearing the AIDS rumors right away, too. So, 30 years. I don't know. Dying at 47, though.
Beats out Magic, right? Magic's, we just talked about him in 91, was it?
Yeah. 91. Well, how long?
25.
25, yeah. So, did you see the Robbie Heil story?
This is the little boy with
Down syndrome?
Downs, local kid.
Local.
Novi, was it?
Novi, yeah. Played for the Wildcats at Novi High School.
Played for him?
Well, yeah, he was like the water boy. But then they put him in a game over the weekend. And on Friday night, he was wearing his number 24 jersey. I guess his mom's got cancer. And so they put him in, and he scored a touchdown. Amazing around the end.
I've seen, right.
Did you see the play?
I've seen the play before.
Oh, you have?
I feel like I've seen the whole thing before.
Yeah. His mom, Debbie, is battling advanced cancer, and she witnessed it all from the sidelines. I guess she didn't know, and they put the kid in. I mean, it's a good story. I know there are some pointing fingers or naming names, but is it worth the question about how helpful these plays are?
No, it's worth the question. It's worth discussing.
Is it good?
Like I said, I've seen it a bunch of times. He's not experienced that, so it's special to him. It's special to his mom who's dying.
Yeah. I don't think the play counted. That I heard that, which kind of sucks. You would think you would want that in the paper and in the stat sheets. That you had an end around for 40 yards for a touchdown. No, he's a cute kid. Look at him. I'm glad he got his moment. Yeah. And it's local. But yeah, I don't even think you're allowed to have that conversation anymore. Like, I've seen this,
Yeah, it's been going on for years, right?
Yeah.
The local kid with Downs or whatever does this. Is that a train track on their helmet? What's the deal with that?
Oh, wow.
Novi? Is
No,
that number?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Number 6, right?
Yeah.
Wait, what is that?
The number 6 train station. That's where Novi came from.
Yeah. I always get it confused. Is it the Novi Chop House or is it number 6 Chop House? Seriously.
I mean, technically.
I've heard both. Do you have the run there, E?
It looks like it, I guess.
Do you want to see his actual run?
Is this ever in question?
I don't think so.
No. He pretty much kills it.
You can't wear glasses under your helmet, can you?
It's dangerous. I wouldn't let him do that if I was a referee. Here he goes.
Number 30.
I saw a few guys not putting quite a good enough effort in there.
Even so, he's the heart and soul of this Wildcat football team.
Look at that, Poops.
He's been a part of it for 4 years as the water boy. Friday night, he was so much more.
He brings, that infectious enthusiasm that our kids love. No matter how bad a day he's having, it's a smile from ear to ear, and an opportunity to put that helmet on tonight. I mean, it brought tears to my eyes.
And with the help of the South Lyon East Cougars, Coach Jeff Burnside calls a play just for Robbie. A handoff at the 40.
What do you call that play?
And Heil hightails it.
2 hands on the ball. He's not going to fumble.
No.
What if he did?
I'd have switched it out to the right arm, just me personally, just in case you do fumble.
Yeah. Did you see he spiked the ball? I don't think that's legal in high school football.
Boy, we're looking at a personal foul. Kind of rubbing it in, aren't you, Robbie?
Yeah, and I think he dances.
Oh.
It's a spike, right?
Yes, and then he dances.
And then he's dancing.
Come on, Heil.
That is so illegal in high school football.
Have some class, man.
Act like you've been there, Heil.
Actually,
There's
I
Mom.
presently have cancer, and this team has just been so instrumental with helping me get him to practice, like while I'm at chemo, and
Yeah, good for Robbie Heil.
Good for Robbie. I saw the other team presented him with a jersey and everything. It's like, look, you other team, don't try to get in on this special moment.
What if,
Leave it to them.
What if he does fumble the ball? Like at the 5, say he dropped it.
It was South Lyon, by the way.
Do it over. Do it over. Right?
You can't do a redo if he
You
fumbles.
would. You turn it off, you rewind the tape, you do it over.
You think so? Can you do a take 2?
And they let the kid dance and spike the ball in the end zone. Obviously, there's some wiggle room here.
Could you imagine if a ref threw a personal foul flag on the play? There was one ref, the back judge is like, fuck that. You're not allowed to spike the ball in high school football.
We'll give you a little leeway here, but that's enough.
Yeah,
now you're rubbing it in, you son of a bitch.
I was willing to overlook the spike, but when you went into your fucking dance moves, I'm throwing the flag on that.
He's
15 yards.
Dabbing and shit. It wasn't cool.
Well, good for Robbie. Happy for him.
What do you call that play? You got a name for it?
I don't know. Clear out.
Oh, come on.
No, I know.
It didn't seem like there was proper blocking on the ends. I'll give you that.
I don't.
And I don't know where the safeties.
I felt like the
corners
defensive
went.
pursuit was lacking.
The South Lyon team.
34 especially took a nap on that
Yeah.
play. I don't know if you saw 34 in the center of the field. I'm assuming 34 is a safety of some sorts.
Yeah.
Doesn't appear like he wasn't Ronnie Lotton it out there. I'll say that.
I was more laughing at Mike's proclamation of being happy for him. That he's personally happy of the situation.
Listen, if this kid was out of state, I'd have a different take on this. But he's not. No,
Like, I'm happy. I think I'm happy. I actually do have a level of happiness, I guess, for the kid and his family, but I don't really care about the situation, if that makes any sense.
How can you not, as a human being, go, you know what? Mom has cancer.
Mom has cancer is a huge
that
thing.
does
That
suck.
is so stressful on a family.
You know, she just stated in tears how that football team has helped her, what it's meant to her. How can you, as a human being, just go, I don't fucking care?
Sports are awesome, man. I think this is a thing that sports do. I really do think that sometimes sports do help in this stuff, for real. Like, you see those
So
things.
now he's backpedaling. Now he's a human being.
Trying to be.
I don't know.
E, can you shed a tear for Robbie Heil?
I think I actually did have a tear.
Oh, you did not have a tear.
Yes, I'm not kidding. Look at it. If you look, I got.
Oh my God, he's been moved.
I got a little teary.
You're moved.
Look at that.
Oh,
You got soulless
put him
eyes.
back on.
Lifeless eyes, black eyes like a doll's eyes.
Tears come out of the soulless eyes.
I was actually a little teared up of the story.
His eyes are fathomless pits, black holes that no light can penetrate or escape.
You saw that though, right?
Nothing lives in those eyes.
I did not see it.
What's a
I
little
thought you
glossy?
did.
Did you just punch yourself in the nose? Because they just look a little glossy.
No, you know what, dude? I always tell you, I don't really. I've said this before. I don't get that worked up about these stories, for in any other circumstance. But like the sports ones do get me, and I think it's just because in my mind,
the devil's
it justifies that sports is bigger than just sports.
So
I
you're
guess.
crying at the fact that sports has been a part of this, not at the fact that this kid with this disability has been granted kind of this wish, this great moment that his mom has been moved. That's nothing to you.
It's
the
not
fact that
nothing. It's not
sports
nothing,
is
but
involved.
I do like. I don't know how to explain it. Every year when ESPN does the stories, they do that once a week.
Do you usually cry at these?
I'll tear up on the ESPN.
I don't like
ones they do
him,
once
his
a year.
giant head, or his beady little eyes.
Like,
You
I
really
get
do.
it. The kid, who was the kid that was special, that was the basketball
One of those
player
guys
that
just jacking threes.
that just jacked like 6 threes and just raining them. I think he met Obama and shit from that. Like,
I think that coach should be fired, not identifying that talent you've got sitting on the bench
Absolutely.
for 4 years.
yes. And even without a guard in his face, like, dude, we went to the Palace that day and tried raining threes. Airball city. We sucked. And for that kid to go out there on the court, yeah, was he getting manned up? It wasn't the tightest D in the world. But for him to Robert Horry 6 fucking threes
Despite the Mongolism.
was unbelievable for him. I wonder what is the kids' takeaway in a story like that when it's like when on the news they're going, they drew up a special play, meaning that everybody took the play off. Essentially is what you're saying. That we've decided on
Saying that
both
was
sides
fixed,
of the ball.
Mike? Are you saying
I'm
that
saying
there
it's
wasn't
fixed.
proper defensive pursuit?
Not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying, does the kid know, like, okay,
Right.
they took the play off?
That's a
and let me
great
walk
question.
into the end zone.
I've never thought about it from the kid's perspective.
Yeah.
That's a great question.
I mean, is he
'Cause
just
maybe you're making it
thrilled?
worse. Maybe you're like, maybe he's just like, oh shit.
I want to be
man.
treated like everybody
I know
else.
what you're doing here.
And if you give me a halfback sweep around the end and I get cleaned up by a strong safety or a linebacker,
I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with that. I got the real experience. Yeah, I fumbled. Of course I coughed it up. I got hammered. I'm half the size of everyone out there. What did you expect to happen? Yeah.
Like a little fire hydrant.
Barely fit in this mini jersey. But, you know, I don't know. Maybe the kid just goes, this is awesome. I got to go on the field. The fans were cheering. My mom was there. Cameras were there. And I got to cross that plane in the end zone, and that's awesome. I spiked the ball.
There's only one way to find out what he's thinking.
Yeah.
Could call him.
Should we try to call him?
Yeah.
Let's call him after the show. I don't have a number for him, but
right.
see if you can. I bet people listening to us know the Hiles. If anyone listening to us knows Robbie or Mom.
Now, you're not going to give it away, are you? Suppose this kid totally thinks like, hey, there's a real play. You can't burst the bubble, Mike.
Well, I'm assuming he's going to watch the news stories, right? He's going to watch himself on the news. Who wouldn't?
Yeah.
I think they should have kept that on the down low. Hey, went in, they threw him in for a play, and what do you know? He busted out around the end.
What do you know?
Went for 40. It was awesome. Anyway, look at that dude's beard.
Wow, that is trimmed. That shit. That looks painted on, doesn't it?
Yeah, doesn't it? It does look painted on. Look at that, E.
It's weird looking.
Yeah, this is a funeral director, and he's got some people outraged. Apparently, he likes to take selfies with, like, caskets in the background. Not of people, but just like, oh, yeah, here's a thing being loaded into the back of the hearse.
Pretty morbid.
Yeah, it's kind of morbid. He's a Texas guy, and so this woman, Rose Molina, says she was shocked when she caught my man David Jones here, the funeral director at the Leal Funeral Home in Houston, angling his phone while apparently posing for a photo in front of the hearse carrying her loved one's body. So yeah, he's kind of catching some.
And he's
shit
just posting this like day on the job kind of thing.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, hey,
exactly.
This is what I'm doing today. Like E would, put himself sitting on the couch with his dick in his hand. Hey, here I am. This is like his Snapchat story, basically.
Yeah, which is what a lot of people do at work. A lot of people, this is my day at work. This is what he does. I don't know that I have a terrible problem with this. I mean, I'm more offended by his beard. His beard looks so fake and painted onto me that I
man. It almost it looks glued on, if not painted on.
Yeah.
God, that's gross looking.
It is. It's not a good look. It's too finely tweaked around the lips and everything, and I don't know. I mean,
I remember when I did my Prince beard, how long it took me.
Yeah.
To tailor that into that shape. Man, that guy spends some time.
Yeah. He's going hat and everything. I mean,
there's some people spending time on that.
I was at the funeral home this last week in California.
Oh, no. What for?
Yeah, I went to visit my grandma and grandpa at Skylawn on my way to Half Moon Bay.
We're sitting here talking about destination sweatshirts. We don't even realize till the break that he's wearing one.
I thought you guys were.
Moon. I couldn't see what that said. I thought it was a brewery or something.
No, it's Half Moon Bay, California. And on your way to Half Moon Bay, when you're going up the mountains, is Skylawn Cemetery, which is where Nana and Papa are interned. Yeah. And so I went by there, but I was walking by, and I almost got my cell phone out, dude. I'm not even kidding. I'm walking by, and because it's a beautiful place, sprawling place, overlooking shit. And,
sure.
And so I'm walking by the doors. They're glass doors, and there's a fucking casket opened.
What?
And there's an old bird.
Ah!
There's an old bird just laying in bed. She looks gross as fuck, too. And she's just dead as shit. I mean, totally dead, laying there in this thing. And there's no one around. I mean, she's the only one in the room. And I was like, Beth, get over here. Look at this. There's a fucking... Like, I don't know what I thought.
Bird.
Like, I don't know what I thought happened. Like, I figured, like, people start showing up, and then, the guest of honor gets wheeled in or something. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't know. She was sitting there the whole time like a plant in the middle of the room.
Wow.
And so there was nobody there. I mean, it was going to be an hour at least before any sort of foot traffic wandered in.
Start stinking in that time, couldn't you?
I would think. I'm assuming she was embalmed, but it just seems so weird and out of place to see, like, they're just setting up flowers, and there's Nana just laying there.
And you're just a member of the public, and you just walked upon that.
Yeah. I came upon that by myself. Ugh. Yeah, it was weird. So I don't know. Funeral homes are weird in general, but... Ugh.
Hey, as we all know, Big E drives nothing but disgusting turd boxes for cars.
Sure.
You, however, do not have to because Zotford and Holly has got your back. So go lease the all-new 617 Ford Fusion SE for just $158 on a 24-month lease. The 17 Ford Fusion has class-leading style, safety, and performance, and it can be all yours for just $158 a month at Zotford. Get to I-75 and exit 98. Tell them the 38-year-old basement dweller sent you. Receive a free autographed TDC shirt with your purchase or lease. Hurry while supplies last.
How we doing on email, Jay?
We do have some email, Mike, and we must mention our buddy Merck, through whom this email segment is brought to you by. You all know Mark Leibovitz at LPL Financial by now. He's offering our listeners a great special if you are one of the next 10 listeners to make an appointment for a no-cost, no-obligation portfolio review. He'll give you a $50 gift certificate to your favorite restaurant. If you've been thinking about calling Mark, now's the time to do it. Call 248-626-2000 and ask for Mark.
Securities and advisory services offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor. Member FINRA SIPC.
Putty.
I don't know how true this is because I didn't look at the footage closely, but maybe you have. You mentioned seeing the footage of the bomber being taken away on the gurney.
Yes.
Okay, the New York City bomber.
Mm-hmm.
King, I saw the footage of the bomber, and I was terrified to see what looked like a fanny pack across his chest. I'm concerned for the King's safety because obviously terrorists love fanny packs. Mike is now suspect and maybe a mole. You may want to position Biggie as a human shield once Mike is activated by the hoodie terror cell. Winky face.
You know I don't like fanny packs. I was in a no-win situation at the mansion. No win. I had no pockets. Nothing.
You wore a fanny pack, a red fanny pack to the Playboy Mansion.
It matched my outfit, and they were the thing back then.
And then you wondered, they were not the thing. They've never been the thing.
They're the thing again. They're coming
Never
back in
been the
style.
thing.
I saw tons of people in
It's
California
not
wearing
true.
them.
They're hipster cool right now.
They're
for
making
sure.
a huge comeback.
To
I
me,
don't know
that's
if red
not
ones
the
are.
thing. Okay, tell me what hipster cool is. That doesn't mean it's the thing.
Yes, it does.
They're making them like fancy now, like leather.
Normcore.
Yeah, they're getting all fancy.
I remember the leather ones.
Yeah,
like
They're definitely
E's dad wearing them.
People are definitely wearing them at raves and stuff.
Yeah,
too,
like the
for sure.
big gold watches, the digital watches, and dumb shit like that. Yeah, really cool. Kevin writes in, this was, he forwarded me the text of what apparently was a TDC review on Facebook. And of course, I'm not on the book, so I don't know, but it was like, rate the show. And this guy
shit all over us.
This guy goes, Adam says this, for his rating, I guess, according to Kevin. Jay is a guy that don't have to work because his wife parents have money. Must be nice. He sucks. D&M, bitch. What the fuck? What's that even mean?
I don't know. I didn't realize your wife's parents had so much money.
Yeah, me
You
either.
have to work. That'd be nice.
I do receive paper products from them from time to time.
And occasional meat products too.
Meat, a random meat product, like
If it's on sale.
a manager's discount.
Mm-hmm.
And then he always gives them to us like 2 weeks too late. So the manager's discount is like, oh, this is like day old meat.
Yeah.
Then you get it 2 weeks later. I literally threw out a green pork chop the other day.
Get out of here. Oh, Paul. That's one of those you got to make a special trip. I mean, if you buy day old meats, manager special meats or breads, you got to deliver it that day. Green pork chop. That's ugh.
Speaking of paper products, a guy wrote in about some paper products. Let me see here. Scott writes in, hey, Jay, my friend Dave, from whom we've read a number of emails over the years, started me on the podcast, and I think you're doing a fine job. That's high praise for me. I already wrote about the fruit flies. By the way, give the bowl concept more time. Don't be so impatient, you smug bastard. But I'm now being nudged to share some Michigan State stories. One goes like this, and as you probably know, when you stayed in the MSU dorms, you got both free toilet paper and free trash bags.
You did?
Why? That didn't matter to my cheap-ass parents who, in between bitching about how much tuition cost, forced me to collect as many as I could throughout my entire stay. Why would I do such a thing? So that when I came home on breaks, I could bring them with me so my parents wouldn't have to buy any.
Wow.
Yes, each time I headed back down to Farmington, I had to have at least a trash bag full of TP and more trash bags in tow. Last I get to my front door and my father sent me away in anger, telling me not to come back until it's filled. The fact that the toilet paper was a grade barely above sandpaper made it even more awesome, because who the fuck needs Cottonelle or Northern? Me, I got to fully experience the same abrasion at home that I enjoyed every day at school. The cherry on top of all this was that you could only get 2 rolls at a time. With how often
what do they have, a dispensary?
No, you go to the front desk at the dorm.
Never, I get that you get it for free, but this dude must have been going there every day.
That's what he said. You're hitting up friends.
With how often I asked for TP, I'm sure the front desk thought I had some kind of shit disorder or intestinal parasite. Anyway, probably a non sequitur for what you're talking about today, but wanted to share. Go green, go white.
That would be.
I could totally see a parent. I could see like your parent doing that.
I could see it too.
Hi, Miss Fady, by the way. Eric, if you're getting it for free, you may as well bring home some toilet paper for Nana.
I don't think they're thinking of an intestinal thing. I think they're thinking you're a college kid stealing toilet paper, probably.
I think they don't give a fuck. They're
Right,
sitting there
too.
working the desk like, whatever, dude.
Right.
Yeah.
Of course.
I don't know. That's one of those parents that like steals the rolls and puts them in their purse.
Yeah,
at
or
the dinner table. You know.
Yeah,
Like I never got that, stealing butter pads
and sugar and shit like that.
Yeah.
My mom's aunt used to do that. My mom used to always resolve, well, she was from the Depression era. She just doesn't understand it. She's sitting there wrapping up every frickin' thing that's not nailed down.
My Nana was kind of the same way. Leaning on the Depression again.
Yeah. Leaning on that damn Depression. Jay writes in, if you're going to San Francisco,
If you're going to San Francisco.
Gentlemen in E, I have this theory that I've been working on regarding Mike's recent trip to San Francisco and the meeting with Jerry from the Jacks falling through. It starts during the week leading up to Memorial Day, where Mike had mentioned quite a few times that he felt a cold coming on. Coincidentally, he had a bunch of shit to do that weekend, which would have required him to go outside, so he concocted this little fake sick scheme to get out of it. He was planting those seeds all week, and it worked because he got to sit on his ass doing jack shit all weekend, like Big E on a Thursday afternoon.
You're talking about the stuff I was supposed to do with Beth?
He said he went to the hospital, but that could
No,
go
I
either way
didn't.
for me.
I didn't go to the hospital.
Either he lied about going, or he was so committed to being fake sick that he thought it would solidify his bullshit story and just went to the hospital anyway.
No, I didn't go to the hospital. Beth wanted me to go to the hospital like 1, 2 in the morning on that Friday night or whatever.
With the San Francisco
and
trip,
she ended up getting sick in California from whatever I had.
Well,
yeah.
With the San Francisco trip, Mike said that Jerry told him he was going to be out of town the week that Mike would be there.
Oh, I'm going to be in Utah.
And they wouldn't be able to meet up. Mike then again planted some seeds as he suggested that Jerry was the one that wanted to bail on the meeting. Mike called Jerry a liar and suggested that Jerry wasn't really going out of town. I call bullshit. What really happened was that Jerry was more than willing to meet, but was probably too busy to donate a few hours of his time on any of those given nights. So what Jerry suggested was that Mike come down to the Jacks meeting, strip down, and flop his hog around like the like-minded man that he is. Mike, of course, did not want to do this. He's in San Francisco, the gayest city in America. Why does he want to spend his time in a small room where there is no cock-sucking or butthole play allowed and still probably smells like Big E's balls? So Mike created that lie and made Jerry out to be the bad guy while he went and double-fisted some cocks under the Golden Gate Bridge. Mike, you are a
Guy
devious
nailed it.
motherfucker.
Guy nailed it.
Is that true, Mike?
Yeah, all of it. 100% true.
Jay says, P.S. I also have a theory about Jay being a closet Jew, but I'll leave that for another time.
I could see that.
Me being a closet Jew?
Yes. Yep.
Nothing against the Hebrews, but I'm not one of them.
Well, I'm interested in hearing his theory.
Yeah.
By the way, I saw so many gay couples.
Is that
this
right?
week. It was funny. Beth and I were walking around little Asian square there, and there was a couple of dudes who were clearly on a first date. One of those, like they just got done eating and they had their to-go box. And they're walking towards Beth and I and at a slow pace, and I'm at a slow clip myself. And
Is that right?
I hear one of them, I hear one of them go, well, what should we do now? And the one guy goes, well, I guess you could take me home.
Well, that's all right.
And the other one goes, or...
Oh, boy.
Yeah, and it was like...
No. We don't want to shame anybody. We don't want to put anybody on the spot. If it looks funny, we go over and say, mm-mm.
Gentlemen, who are you kidding? It's or. Or...
Docking is the insertion of one man's glands into the foreskin of another's.
Lest you forget, you're both men. So you both want to get it on.
It's always the same and always different. There's always a bunch of naked guys having a wonderful time together.
So this idea of like, oh, just on a romantic date, I don't want to come off as too forward. How about I just take you home?
Play hard to get.
Yeah.
God.
Stop it.
You know, there are people who don't want to do other things. You know, if you want ice cream, you don't go to a barbecue shop.
Alec writes in with a Venmo explanation. Do you remember this? When did that come up, Mike? Quiz. Do you remember? It was the game day sign.
Oh, yeah. The kid that wanted people to donate to his account.
Yeah. Is that how you say it, Venmo?
Sure.
Okay. Well, that even makes me look older. Alec writes in, Big Dick, co-host, and retard, your number one college fraternity member listener chiming in to cure your ignorance regarding Venmo and the brilliant college game day sign that was referenced in episode 659.
It is brilliant.
A few weeks ago, when you had Anthony Fennick on, he also alluded to Venmo, and you guys seemed flustered by the reference, and Big E did not have the wherewithal to use the Google machine to see what it is. So I'm here to inform you, for us college students, it is used by almost everyone, and it's one of my top 5 used apps. The aforementioned app's uses vary from transferring money to a friend for a water bill or rent money to payment for illegal drugs or alcohol. I hope this bit of insight helps you, gentlemen. Good day, sir. P.S. If anyone of you would like to help a Spartan out with some extra beer money, my Venmo account username is @AlecYans. That's with a Y-A-N-S.
Alec?
Alec. A-L-E-C, capital Y-A-N-S. Alec Yans.
Is there a number? That guy had a number.
That's it. Alec Yans.
Alec Yans. Throw him some bucks. Let him get some illegal drugs and alcohol.
Come on, man.
Hook a brother up.
And on that subject, Jeff writes in, sorry, Mike, the new car, less miles thing is old news. Some kid was holding a sign that said that on game day back in the day.
I said it back in the day.
Well,
maybe you got the idea from me.
Well, maybe. Although you didn't say it on air.
I didn't.
Oh,
I didn't
you
claim that. I think I in fact said that.
You were very open with the idea that
it seemed like an obvious one. Now, if someone said they came up with, buy sense, save sense, make sense, I'd call total bullshit on that. They're a liar. We want a new car with less miles. Yeah, I bet it was done. I hadn't seen that when I thought of that.
Yeah, well,
that's all I'm saying.
It happened.
Yeah,
we'll save the rest for tomorrow, Mike.
All right. Well, let's get out of here. It's good to be back, gentlemen. Good to see you both.
You too, Mike.
Thank you. And we'll do it again tomorrow. So thanks everybody for listening, and we'll do it again tomorrow. We'll see you guys then.
You've been listening to the Detroit Cast with your hosts, Mike and Jay. From all of us at Radio for One Studios, thank you for listening. And as always, thank you, Detroit.